So a little bit of bad news if you're an Xbox fan. Things are not exactly going the way that I think that a lot of us were hoping that they would go. Originally, when Microsoft started buying a lot of these studios and things, I thought, hey, this is really good news. This is really cool. You know, we're going to have some great exclusives. It's going to be cool. The games like Call of Duty and Warzone and Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout 5 and World of Warcraft and Candy Crush and all these games, Minecraft, those are all going to fund Xbox exclusives and keep Game Pass going, which in theory it should and does. The problem with that is you have investors and people like that want to see Xbox just make, I guess, more on top of more on top of more. And I think that what happened was Game Pass needed to be at probably around 50 million subscribers right now for it to be, viable long term. So that's the unfortunate part. Now, here's the thing that's really bad, and yeah, it does look like probably Starfield and who knows what other games will end up coming to PlayStation. Microsoft CEO is committed to meeting players wherever they are after Xbox games dominate the PlayStation Store. So regardless of what you guys think of how important sales are, or maybe you're all about the ecosystem, like how does that work? I like the Xbox ecosystem. The ecosystem's great, and I can play my games where I take a poopy. That's great. Xbox is so super. But anyway, Microsoft has suggested that Xbox is starting to reap the rewards of its increased multi-platform focus. While it had already had a strong foothold on rival platforms thanks to perennial bestsellers, like I mentioned, Call of Duty and Minecraft, Xbox recently announced plans to bring more first-party titles to PlayStation and Nintendo Switch, starting with Pentiment, Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, and Grounded. And during Microsoft's third quarter earnings call, CEO Satya Doesn't Like the Gamer Nadella said Xbox games have been performing strongly on the PlayStation Store. Now, this is the part where you guys really should maybe kind of perk up and see where there's a lot of you that really thought this was only going to be 4 games. And, I just hate to be that guy, but it's definitely more than 4 games. So he said, and I quote, "Earlier this month, we had 7 games among the top 25 on the PlayStation Store, more than any other publisher." So Nadella appeared to be referencing a recent report from Tweaktown, which found that Xbox had more first-party games among PlayStation Store's 25 best-selling titles than Sony did. On PS5 on April 18th, these were Modern Warfare 3, Overwatch, Sea of Thieves, Fallout 4, Minecraft, Fallout 76, and Grounded. So, to be real about it, only 2 were kind of Xbox Game Studios' recent things. I mean, taking credit for, Modern Warfare 3 and Overwatch and Fallout 4 and Minecraft, I think that's really silly at this particular point. But again, that's that's what Microsoft does. They look at how successful we are. Our game Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 is in the top played games, like it always is, regardless of whether we would have bought it or not. Anyway, so in comparison, 5 Sony published games made the list: MLB The Show, Destiny 2, a trio of titles developed by third-party studios in Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade, and Rise of Ronin. It's worth noting that PlayStation Store rankings are updated daily and based on region. This is what Nadella also had to say, and I quote, "We are committed to meeting players where they are by bringing great games to more people on more devices." So, does that sound like to you that Microsoft is all in on this whole third-party thing? It certainly does to me when you mix it with the fact that I know people go, well, Microsoft has really poor planning, or they really have poor way to convey things, and I agree with that. They convey things really crappily. The thing that I would say is Phil Spencer flat out said any game could come to PlayStation. So, when you have the CEO of the entirety of Microsoft saying, hey, you know what, we're bringing our games to where players are, and you just see the success that stuff like PlayStation and Nintendo have, that's success that Microsoft is probably never going to have. And so where can they have that success? Well, you can have it by putting it on PlayStation, and certainly, people will buy it. I mean, obviously, for me, I thought, I never dreamed that PlayStation would get games like Sea of Thieves and or anything really that Microsoft Game Studios made outside of like the Call of Duties and the stuff that was already multiplat. That's why I kind of championed so hard for those games to kind of for Microsoft to kind of go through with that purchase. I thought it would really set up Xbox in a good spot. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case because, as we see, Microsoft has really kind of, their hardware is fluttering. And, even though people will talk about the ecosystem and, this amazing ecosystem that they have and how great that is, and they're making money, yeah, when you count Activision, who was already making money and who make the most popular game year in, year out, yeah, but I mean, couldn't anybody have done that? I mean, let's just pretend that anybody has that type of money. Couldn't anybody have bought those IP and bought those publishers and made money off of it? Like, to me, that's not like this huge flex that people think it is. People really act like, oh man, it's such a great thing, or whatever. And to me, it just doesn't seem like the big flex to me would have been, okay, we can have our cake and eat it too, meaning we could sell a whole shit ton of consoles and we can still have exclusives and all that kind of stuff. Like, to me, I don't understand where the point is in coming out with another Xbox if they're not going to support it with exclusives, right? And I'm talking exclusives, not timed exclusives or anything like that. I understand they put stuff on PC day one, whatever, but what I think they need to do is have console exclusives. They needed probably years and years of exclusives where Xbox was going to kind of get on really well with high quality stuff. Instead it's like, hey, we're Microsoft, we bought Minecraft and Fallout 4 and Call of Duty, so let's take credit for it, right? Like, I mean, that doesn't really make any sense to me that they're kind of trying to do that. So I don't know. It just seems like fake. I don't know. Like, I don't know. And I like Xbox, but it's just like so fake to me the way that this comes across. And the more interesting thing to me is the fact that you have the CEO of Microsoft who is championing and name dropping PlayStation. He's like, finally, we're expanding our games to new platforms, bringing 4 of our fan favorite titles to Nintendo Switch and Sony PlayStation for the first time. And he goes on to say the other stuff is, which is, in fact, earlier this month, we had 7 games among the top 25 on the PlayStation Store, more than any other publisher. In closing, I'm energized about our opportunity ahead as we innovate to help people and businesses thrive in this new area. So, again, when you're name dropping PlayStation, I think the ship might have sailed on your own hardware, but that's just me. I'll link this, of course, in the description. Let me know what you guys think. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.